Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Megan Nilsson, aka Crypto Megan, coming to you from Miami. Art Basel Week. It is so amazing here right now. The energy is high, the vibe is amazing, and you can tell there's just something special in the air. And I kicked off this week with a bang yesterday at the National Hotel right here in South Beach with Tim Draper himself, billionaire investor Tim Draper, founder of over 30 venture capital firms, including Draper Fisher Jurvetson. I mean, this guy's got a resume so extensive, I need to look at my notes to introduce him. He was the early backer of some of the most influential tech, including Hotmail, Skype, Twitter, SpaceX, Coinbase, and Robinhood. I did a podcast with him yesterday. Really exciting stuff. Exclusive predictions. I'm going to let you guys in on. It's going to drop next week. I cannot wait. And I was also a judge on his reality show, Meet the Drapers, looking for that next unicorn.
This is the show where we bring in 4 awesome entrepreneurs out of thousands that try to get onto our show. We get the 4 that are selected to eventually compete for $1 million investment.
Wow.
And these entrepreneurs are extraordinary. And in fact, our team has told me that we have 4 extraordinary entrepreneurs here in Miami. Right, immediate left, we have Crypto Megan, otherwise known as Megan Nielsen Draper. She has a great Web3 portfolio, strategy consultant for companies, investors, and celebrities, but she also has an amazing show. And she just interviewed me for it. She's one of the best interviewers I've ever heard. She asked some amazing questions. She really understands Bitcoin deep. And Megan, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Draper family.
Oh, that was amazing, Tim. Thank you so much for that intro. And that was a show, guys. You got to tune into that show. That was incredible from a Bitcoin OG himself. I absolutely love this world.
That's old guy. No, original gangsta.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I'm so happy to be here, and I've been a judge on pitch days around the world, but nothing like the Draper show, Meet the Drapers. It's an honor to be here with all you guys.
That's right here in Miami, over 70 million viewers. I cannot wait for you guys to see that. I'll let you know when it's live. And now, jumping right into the news for the week, Bitcoin is pumping and people are excited. You can feel the energy is in the air. It's palpable. It's a palpable tension that everybody, all the expectations for this next coming bull run. So I'm going to let you guys in on exactly what to expect as we almost hit that $45,000 mark. And you better believe I'm going to break out the champagne and we're going to have a toast together right here on this channel when Bitcoin hits $45,000. Who knows? It could be this week. Could be next week, could be any day from now. So I hope that you're getting prepared and you're doing everything you can to take advantage of what's about to go down. So first off, the news of the week, JP Morgan. I mean, this is incredible. JP Morgan, this is just exactly what Tim Draper says. The news sells fear because humans, when they read fear, they get a dopamine hit. It's like you must read and you have to tune out all that noise. All these guys want to do is sell you this fear so they can buy your Bitcoin cheaper, and it happens each and every cycle. And right now we have something happening that's never happened before, and that is institutional FOMO. I'm going to play a clip for you right now from famed investor Mark Yusko that says that so many institutions have 0% exposure to Bitcoin, and they are starting to feel the FOMO kick in. Check it out.
It's crazy how many people in the institutional world are still stuck on 0. Literally 0. It's 80+% of institutions. But the reason you need Bitcoin in your portfolio, and all the institutions, every single one of them, is going to have it. This is the crazy thing. Every single one of them will, and I've been saying this for years, right? Get off 0. I've been saying since 2017. And all that means is, and I said 10 years, and now we're 6 years in, so it's only 4 more years from now, you will be deemed fiduciarily irresponsible if you have zero.
And as proof that these institutions and big bankers are so threatened by the onset of Bitcoin and the changes that are happening to the world order, check out what Jamie Dimon is saying about Bitcoin. Quote, he would close down Bitcoin if he were the government. I mean, it's absolutely insane. You've got Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan all over the place. They're tokenizing assets. They're talking about cryptocurrencies as their second preferred asset alongside real estate. And then they're coming out, if you remember right here on this channel, they came out in the beginning of November saying the crypto rally looks overdone, and we've since rallied to almost $45,000. Exactly why you must tune out the noise when we start to get into this type of environment. And so now we have Jamie Dimon just coming out saying the most ridiculous stuff. I mean, it's almost obvious what he's trying to do. And he says here, I've always been deeply opposed to crypto. The true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, and tax avoidance.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customer, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay. Couldn't be more wrong. And it's just a case of not having a thorough understanding. Well, it's one or the other. And when I discussed this with Tim Draper yesterday on my podcast, he said that he believes it's more the lack of knowledge on a government level, but on the big banker level, I believe it's more toward they're threatened by it or they feel they don't have enough exposure to it. So he says that it's only for drug traffickers. He would close it down. It's no good. And then probably on the back end, he is buying those Bitcoins and stacking those sats. So tune out the noise, guys. Tune it out because you're going to hear a lot of this as we go into the bull run. So we're at $45,000 and I'm going to show you some charts now that show just how much the more things change, the more they stay the same. People say that this cycle is different, but the charts are showing that it's actually following very closely to how it has done in previous cycles. And I'm going to show you now a few charts that prove that it is right on track to do what it has always done. And the 4-year cycle up until now seems to be staying intact. And we are coming into the we had this discussion yesterday too, however you prefer to say it, about 133 days out until Bitcoin gets more scarce, there's a supply shock, and the reward for the miners gets cut in half. And there are a lot of theories out there that this could be the start of a super cycle. So I'm going to go over that in a minute. Here are the charts now that I've just been discussing. And as you can see, I showed this chart and I said after Arthur Hayes stepped down from BitMEX as CEO and that whole fiasco happened, Bitcoin went on to rip to the upside, had an incredible rally. And we seem to be following that on the back of Binance getting their big $4 billion fine and CZ stepping down. And Bitcoin is unfazed. In fact, it's more bullish than ever. Next up, we talked about the total 3 chart, which includes the top 125 altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it has broken out. Now it's currently retesting and we're watching to see if it finds support, but you know what that means for the altcoins. As soon as we find support, we're having a rip to the upside. We will pump to the upside. So it's looking like this isn't over, and Bitcoin is currently consolidating right under $45,000, and Bitcoin dominance is coming down a bit. So we might see a mini run for the altcoins again. It's absolutely incredible. And on the backs of JP Morgan saying that he would shut Bitcoin down if he could, we've got Bloomberg coming out saying we may be going into a super cycle and Bitcoin's at $500,000. How is this possible? Well, we have JP Morgan saying it's over, he would shut it down, Bloomberg making this mega bullish predictions, and Coinbase coming out with this ad to connect with millennials and the normie experience.
We were born into a system with numbers and papers.
And lines.
And waiting. You work hard, get good grades, go to college.
I want to go to college. I got good grades.
I overachieved.
That's right, she did.
Debt is good?
Debt is so good.
So much debt.
I can totally save up and buy a house and start a family.
I want a family.
Oh.
Starting a family means you need 2 or 3 jobs.
You can't afford to buy.
Oh.
You can't afford to rent.
Used cars cost as much as the new ones.
Oh.
Good debt is good.
I was ahead of my class.
Houses are too expensive. Get good grades, go to college.
System, the numbers.
Rent is freaking insane.
Breaking news. Everything is terrible.
Does it have to be this way?
What if it was different?
It's always been that way.
We've got to build our way out of it. Yeah.
Put control back to the hands of the people.
A system with less paperwork.
No waiting.
Permissionless.
Just because you're born into a system
Doesn't mean you have to live with it.
And you know what this means. Coinbase is starting to invest again. We are right there in the heat of the moment, and the bull run is about to kick off into its second phase. We have confirmed the second phase of the bull run, and exciting things are happening, but just beware. We've pumped a lot, and as I say in every single episode, I'm expecting that 20 to 30 to 50% correction. So be ready for that. It's a buy the dip scenario, not financial advice. It's just what I'm doing, and I'm positioning all throughout. You guys know that. And finally, one of the things I discussed with Tim is his price prediction, which I'm not going to give away on this episode. You're going to have to wait till that drops next week. But one thing we did discuss is this the last crypto bull run accessible to retail? Is this the last time retail will be able to afford Bitcoin? It's an interesting question, and I'll give you a hint. The answer is this is a if, not when scenario. So whether it happens this bull run or in the future or the coming bull run, it will happen. And all the dominoes are starting to fall in line now toward the theory that one day fiat will cease to exist. And when that happens, Bitcoin becomes invaluable. So all these price predictions above 100,000 and into 1 million and even 10 million are completely possible when this flip the switch scenario happens. So if you're a patient investor, and remember Charlie Munger, the late Charlie Munger who passed away last week, said that the money is transferred always to the patient hands and the money is made in the waiting, in the buying and the waiting. That is when you make the money, when you make that purchase and you know that this is the future and that this is happening. It's if not when, and you just wait and you let the price take care of itself. So that's what I'm doing. I've got my long-term bags as well as the bags I'm going to sell for this coming bull run. We must take profits as essential, but we're coming into an exciting time that we don't know what to expect because things are different. Although I've said, and I said it in the beginning of the episode, that cycles don't always repeat, but they often rhyme. So as for right now, my price prediction for this coming bull run is still about $100,000 to $125,000 and maybe a blow off top a little bit higher than that. But time will tell as institutional FOMO kicks in. And some of the top gainers we have for this week are Cardano, Avalanche, which is on the back of JP Morgan, who is super bearish on crypto, announcing that it's tokenizing securities and using the Avax blockchain, the Avalanche blockchain, rallied pretty high. And also Dogecoin. That's right. You know what that means. That means the bull run is starting to kick in, and also speculation as to Elon Musk X becoming a financial platform to beat banks by the end of 2024. People are speculating that he could possibly use Dogecoin. So I got a small bag of Dogecoin. I've told you guys that. I want some exposure just in case. And I'm continuing to accumulate. We've got the breakout for the altcoins. Let's see what happens this week. Maybe I'll be tuning in the next couple days to cheers to you, to Bitcoin hitting $45,000. And I cannot wait. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you tomorrow.